Thank you for joining us today for the virtual Sunday service with the Center for Creative Living. CCL, a charter of the Universal Church of the Master, has served and supported the spiritual needs of its community here in the Bay Area for over 20 years.
And welcome to the Center for Creative Living. The CCL, as we call it, is a charter of the Universal Church of the Master. And the Universal Church of the Master has their location for their headquarters here in San Jose. So we're lucky to just be a stone's throw away from our parent church. And also, when I say lucky, we have the Reverend here that is the president of UCM. We have a trustee, two trustees, Ronnie and Janet, three, and Corky, and Joyce. Wait a minute, we have a roll call. I feel like it's a Mickey Mouse Club all of a sudden. Thank you so much. Joyce Brown, Reverend Joyce Brown, could you stand up, please, so we can see your beautiful... Okay, yes. Thank you so much for being here all the way from SoCal. Thank you. Okay, Reverend Corky Whitaker Boone. Trustee, Reverend Janet Childs, trustee. And also, and we have one other, Ronnie was hidden all the way over, Reverend Ronnie Grigsby, all the way from Sacramento. Thank you so very much for being here this morning. We certainly do appreciate it. And as I mentioned, our president of UCM, Corry Gott. Reverend Corry Gott. Thank you. So thank you so much for being here. We certainly do appreciate it. Now, I am so delighted that this service is really dedicated to a dear friend of mine. This dear friend is this wonderful Scout, not Scott, Scout. And Scout Bartlett, we share the last name of Bartlett in my family, and his family, Corky's family. I think because Josiah Bartlett had 9 sons and signed the Declaration of Independence. So the Bartlett name, I'm surprised more people don't have the last name of Bartlett. But so there's kind of a kinship from when we first met, because that has been a long time ago. And when I say that, he and I worked together in a radio station, KNRI, in Monterey in 1981.
I believe it was 81,
Yeah. And that's when we first met. And it was one of those like, hi there. Then we kept meeting in various things and getting to know each other. And eventually, I was on his radio station. I say your radio station, KNEST, right?
Just KEST. Yep.
Just and the N's for knowing you, okay?
There we go.
KEST. And the thing is that, you know, Scout has so many different hats that he wears. And many of you have heard him on the radio because and tell me, KEST, it's a radio station that's been around for a while, but you've been around longer than anybody else there, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And what does that mean?
Oddly enough, the show that I do has been recognized as the longest running major market, that's how we make sure we isolate, longest running major market personal growth radio show in the nation.
Yep. And
points out that I'm not 20 anymore. Yeah, there we go.
And so, but that's not all. He has been on multiple TV programs. He has interviewed people from all over the world. He's trained and certified thousands of individuals in what he calls his life insights work. And this is amazing because he also does individual psychic readings or for groups or couples even. And what's this about you and being the speaker before the 50, what was it, the 2050, the 50 Super Bowl is what I'm saying.
Actually, I was the unofficial official ESPN psychic for the Super Bowl that was here in the Bay Area. With the funny part being, they did an interview, they put me up on the air, but the producer was cautious, which is to say he didn't believe I knew anything of what I was doing. And so he edited the show so that it didn't put out any of the predictions that I did about that particular game, and I hit all but one. So had I been a betting person, or had he been a betting person, they would have done well out of it.
And what's this about you trained over 300 nurses in your metaphysical energy healing technique?
That was a Nurses' Day celebration, and it was a fun story. If any of y'all remember the movie Good Morning Vietnam, the radio broadcasters that weren't Robin Williams, I walked into this room with, I think, 360 some nurses in it for this large Nurses' Day celebration, and I got there early. I try to do that so that I can set a space, and I got there early. And the man before me was crouched over the podium and delivering a talk about the trauma reduction work that his organization did. And I thought, oh man, am I going to be a change of pace? So I, when it was my turn, I got up in front of him, and before I was done, I was partnered and married to a nurse, so I'm also an engineer, so I figure I can make fun of both genres. But one has to remember that nurses are trained by the people that the people at medical colleges trained. And so frequently they're a little bit linear. And by the end of my turn in the presentation, which was not quite as monotone, I had these kids. I had these women up out of their chairs doing energy boosting on each other, getting a sense of each other's energy, doing energy between their hands. And from what I understood afterwards, numerous times they would walk up to each other in the nursing station and be doing this energy fluffing that I learned from Betty Beathers. But they would be fluffing energy for each other right there in the hospital. So I set a different tone for that organization for at least a little while.
Yeah, that is great. Yay! And having studied with Betty Bethards and having studied with all of these wonderful people, Carrie Howard and Wally Mento, and also Stan Dale, and your regenescence healing, then all of the things you got for these amazing people you studied with over the years. And then, you know, you gave me a quote. It says, "As spiritualists, we know that each lifetime is but a brief spark of time in eternity. We learn and hopefully grow from one lifetime to the next. In Creator's infinite intelligence, what we call bad things are simply life's lessons." And I want to say that you have been more than a spark. You are an avalanche of counseling, healing, and spirituality. And so we're going to be doing our service today, and I want all of you to realize that this is a blend. This is not our usual service, but this is a blend of honoring Scout becoming a Reverend and also doing a church service. So we'd like to start out with a meditation with our Reverend Janet Child. So if you'd all just get, oh, and Ronnie's going to join. Oh, how wonderful. If you'd all just get real comfortable, put your feet flat on the floor, and close your eyes and take just a nice deep breath as you get centered.
And as you are centered in this moment in time, this unrepeatable moment, know that you are fully all that you can be. You are fully you. And so just feel. Do a body scan and feel, where are you? Where are you right now? Where is the energy in your body? Where are your thoughts, your feelings? What colors represent them, if you would represent them with a color? Where are they located? This is the wisdom of you being in the present moment. You being in this incredible moment that is unrepeatable. And so just allow yourself to feel the fullness of this moment. Feet on the floor, feeling the energy from our beloved Mother Earth. Moving up through your body. Know that you have access to that. It is a sacred relationship that we build with our wonderful earth and all of its creatures. And now just feel the light of the four directions enter through the top of your head. And it's the color that you need right now. And it flows through every cell of your body. And it meets the energy up from the earth in your heart region. And your heart is swirling and building your energy of you to radiate out to the world. And just feel that energy building. And know that you are a powerful, amazing light. And it's a light that only you can bring. So let it shine. Let it be there. Let it glow. And let it return and fill you up 1,000 times. Just allow yourself to have this moment, every breath, with every heartbeat. You are here in your fullness, and all you have to do is radiate. Radiate it out. We radiate our love, love. Oh, we are radiating love. And we will be ourselves fully, and we'll express ourselves completely, and we'll hold the energy of beautiful love. And we dance, 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 dance in this light. And we sing, 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 bring, bring, bring our light. And we know we are the way to heaven. And we know we are the way back home. And we dance, dance, dance,
why don't you just stay there? Don't you have a song that you wrote?
Yes,
Yeah,
I
well,
do.
you can just sit here and smile. Yeah, I mean,
Am I next up?
I'm going to say a little bit, and then you're going to be next
Oh,
up.
okay, I'll stay up.
And we have a picture here of a scout when he joined us in Kauai, and that was what, 2010?
2,000 years ago, I think.
2,000 years ago, and he was our guest lecturer on one of our retreats to Hawaii. And I saw this, and I thought, that looks like the most joyful place, the most loving place. And he was at a Hindu, a wonderful temple that they were building at that point in time. It's now completed, and it was built by a very interesting, very gay monk. So this wonderful temple had more trappings and more exciting energy in it, and it wasn't even finished yet, but you could feel it just bubbling up, like Pele had said, "Welcome, we're glad you're here." So if you're ever in Kauai, you might want to take a trip out to this beautiful temple that was built by a San Francisco man. And so that's where we were. We were enjoying Hawaii. And it hadn't been too long after Aniki, so Hawaii was still doing some rebuilding. But that's one of those wonderful trips. And it was healing.
It was such a treat.
Yeah, it was just, you could just watch. Scout got there uptight, and by the time we left, I'm surprised he still kept most of his clothes on. It was
He's in contact with the planet slightly.
Yes. And so, now when I was told, these wonderful people that you were going to be ordained, what happened is Janet says, "Can I write a dedication song?" And I said, "Of course." So, are you ready, Reverend Janet?
This is dedicated to you, wonderful Scout.
So much.
You turn around to the source, and the fierce bright light reaches into the force, evolving, revolving into the one. You dance at the heart of all you've become, and as you slowly unfold your phoenix wings, as you reach for the stars and the roots of your ancestry, and as you touch the open sky, you step out and fly, 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 fly. Oh, you fly, 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 fly. Oh, you fly with the loving essence of your soul,
Reverend Janet, do you have a copy of that he could take with him?
Oh, sweet.
Okay. And now I'd like to introduce Reverend Corry Gott, our UCM President, who we're going to have her here briefly. And she's going to come up and she is going to do a proclamation.
And I'm sorry, Scout, but I gotta move this.
That's all right.
It doesn't, even though, I don't need it because I got a big mouth. But I have a short voice today because worked at the Levi's game yesterday.
Did they win in favor of?
They did at the last minute. Scout pushed them right through it. I tell you, somebody had to, but, so we're back next week, so it's all right.
In the rain this week.
In the rain, So, friends and members of the community, it's no small decision for this young man, and I mean young, all right, to enter the spiritual ministry. In this world where selfishness and individual self-seeking are so common, it requires moral courage, which he has a lot of. He's been doing it for so many years, he teaches us so well. To follow our deepest idealism and dreams through loving service to our communities, and to our world as a whole. And that's what he does. Those of you who know him know that, and have heard his podcasts and things. The minister in our Western civilization walks ever in the radiance of our great spiritual tradition. The spiritual life and light stands ever before the minister, and indeed before every member of this organization. That's inclusive. Right? Furthermore, the spiritual minister is privileged to serve as a bridge, which he has done for years, between this world and the next. Something is important. Depending on their spiritual gifts, they serve as an intermediary, a channel of inspiration from the higher world to this place and to the plane of the lower vibration. The cultivation of these gifts and truths in an arduous process and a great responsibility which he has chosen to take on. We as the UCM board have examined his character, wisdom, and gifts of this candidate for ministerial status. And board, please stand up with me. Thank you. And we find him to be qualified and ready for ordination. And board, all who agree, please say aye.
Aye.
That's the way we do it. Thank you, board. I appreciate you. Thank you, everyone. Sorry I have to run. Yeah. So, may I get a hug? And Dottie will bestow upon this man.
No, Corky will.
Oh, sorry.
The UCM
Corky will.
trustee will.
Trustee will, the rest of his wonderful gifts. So thank you very much. Should I leave this for Courtney?
Secret side. I was going to say, nice try on that subtle entrance from the side.
I got one of the shortest people to give you your stole.
Well, that way he doesn't have to stand up.
Do you want me to read what goes with this?
Thank you.
Okay. The Universal Church of the Master has examined the character, wisdom, and gifts of this candidate and found him to be qualified and ready for ordination and to wear this purple stole. Reverend Scout Bartlett, please wear it with dignity and pride. It represents your decision to serve as a bridge between this world and the next, a channel of inspiration from the other world to this plane of lower vibration through your healing, spirituality, and now all your wonderful gifts of friendship and love. As an ordained minister, you'll have the legal ability to be a wedding officiant, perform baptisms, funerals, and blessings, as well as to start your own church and preach. Whew. Okay.
Very deserving. Thank you.
Now, and with that, we want to present to you Reverend Scout Bartlett, your certification. You already have your ministerial, your certification, your card that you can carry with you, and please do. I put this in my wallet, my card, and they found my purse and delivered it to me based on having a UCM card. And I feel that that was what did it. Okay? There you go.
Legit. You are legit.
Certificate of ordination.
I'm a real boy.
Yes, that's
And this is, I believe you might have one of these, but it shows what our symbol at UCM stands for.
and how, yeah, what all the different lines stand
What
for.
all the different
And
lines.
how it
and
incorporates
how-
all of the different religions.
This, we bring in all the different religions, and we want you to know that you represent that through all the work that you do. Yeah.
Congratulations. Reverend Scout.
And
Bartlett.
you
That's
can
great.
put this all back neat and tidy here. This book, we understand that you messed up your first one you got, so this one is wrapped in plastic.
Good plan.
And, okay, and now Scout, what I want is for you to stand there, and would everybody please stand? And I want you to direct your energy towards him and say just something. I don't care what. And we'll just start over here at the left, and Christine, say just one word to Scout for his being a reverend.
Good things happening.
Ronnie?
Blessings. Grace. Adored. Appreciation.
Purposeful.
Blessings. Blessing. Kindness. Joy. Gratitude. Love. Complexity.
Fulfillment.
Worthy. Congratulations. Journeyman. Love and light all.
Connection.
Radiant glow. Happiness.
And that all of you that are reverends, everybody else be seated, but the reverends of UCM, please keep standing. And now give them a special Universal Church of the Master blessing, and that is Reverend Scout Bartlett. We actively respond to your love. We are there for you through your travels and your ministry, and know that we appreciate you joining the Universal Church of the Master and honor your place right here and right now as a new reverend in our church and our organization. And so it is. So it is. Thank you. Thank you so much for representing yourself and our church. We really do appreciate it. And now, you know what's going to happen? He's going to talk. And he's got a microphone, he's got a podium, he's got a stole, he's got a certificate, and here he is. Please welcome the Reverend Scout Bartlett.
I had no idea all that was going to happen. I thought I just would get wrapped up in a shawl and handed a piece of paper and then talk. So, wow, thank you. Thank you, every single one of you that's here. I saw a meme the other day that just lit my eyes up, and I wish I had written it. And basically what they'd written was, I have very few filters. I choose to be as surprised as everybody else is by what comes out of my mouth. And that is my life and my walk. Really, really early on, I had a client that truly, I think she actually booked a whole series of time with me more as a donation than any expectation that I'd actually accomplish anything, which is sort of interesting. That's happened a number of times in my history where people will say to me, well, you'd given me a lot in the radio show or whatever, and so I booked a session just because I figured I owed you something. But when we are in session, my job is to be out of the way. And I sat down with this woman, and the first phrase in my head was, when in the course of human events, which I overrode and went, no, that's just, any of y'all that have seen the movie Inside Out, you know, that's just an old hit replaying in the back of my brain. And I cleared it out, which is what I do when I think it's my brain talking. I cleared it out, and then the next thing I heard was, when in the course of human events. And I cleared that out, and it showed up again, and that's kind of my rule in any session. When I think it's my brain talking, I'll blow it out twice, and if it shows up a third time, it's like, okay, not my job to have any idea what I'm talking about or why. I just have to get out of the way and say it. And it followed up with, when in the course of human events we stumble across an answer, we often do find ourselves quite blind in seeking instead the question. When I think about that, there's a place where I notice that if I were someone who grew up at the head of the Amazon River down near the equator, I would never find myself trying to figure out the best strategy for a snowball fight. In fact, if somebody tried to describe a snowball fight, I would think of, well, yes, we've splashed cold water on each other also, and that's not it. I wouldn't be able to wonder about a snowball fight till I actually knew about a snowball fight. Breathe, please. Oh, sorry. If y'all would, deep breath in, let it out again. When you find self, back up, restart. I view us as being a core essence that is who we really are, wrapped around by our energy tangles, which are our reason for being here, our curriculum, our lessons for this lifetime, which we experience quite gently as our stuff in the way. I find it easiest for people to recognize core essence in somebody they love, because then they can be frustrated that somebody they love is running into their stuff in the way, whether that's their kid, their loved one, their teacher, their partner, whatever it may be. When we run into a place where you're smack into your energy tangles, your lessons, your curriculum, on one hand, I would describe that we could think of our lessons, those energy tangles, as being a ball, a sphere of a certain diameter, size doesn't matter. For as long as we keep our aliveness in a smaller ball of energy than that ball of our limitations, nod your heads if this is tracking. As long as we keep our aliveness in a smaller sphere of energy than the size of the ball of our lessons, our limitations, we don't run into the limitations. We can just tool right along and, I apologize for this, and view ourselves as a perfectly stable genius. I apologized first, I apologize again. But truly, it's a good example and a good analogy of, if we haven't run into what is our limitations, or even what could be bigger than that, then it's the Dunning-Kruger effect of the people that don't know much about it are more likely to think they know everything about it than the people that know a lot about it who realize how much they don't know. For as long as our energy level stays smaller than the level of our lessons at this point in time, we don't run into them. And we just tool right along and everything just is. Normal, normal, same, same. Until we actually reach a growth point where we're expanding beyond the size of that, innermost layer of our innermost limitations. When we reach a growth point where we're expanding beyond that innermost layer of our innermost limitations for whatever reason, that's when we run smack into the limitations, and we don't know why this happens this way. We don't know why we are this way. We don't know where that came from. We don't know why we can't. We don't know why we have to live this way. We can't imagine why we'd have to put up with this forever, blah, 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 blah. But only because we've already, everybody deep breath if you would, please let it out again, only because we already have grown beyond, rephrase, experienced beyond that innermost layer of our limitations. Breathe again, please. We have to have experienced ourselves in the energy state that is the solution to the question, when in the course of human events we stumble across an answer, we often do find ourselves quite blind in seeking instead the question. When answers come first, that's quite in reverse of what was always expected. We can get caught in that whole scenario of why, where's it from, how do I solve it? I mean, I always like to point out that if I had an issue with my body and I went to a surgeon, I'm likely to get a surgical solution offered to me, right? But if I had a body situation and I went to a Qigong master, I'm likely to get an energetic Qigong solution to my issue. If I had a body issue and I went to a bartender, I'm likely to get a cocktail. If I go to my brain mind, if I go to my linear mind to look for an answer to my life path, I'm likely to get an answer that says, well, the only way through this is you'll have to think it through and figure it out. I'll get a brain answer. On the other hand, if I went to a whole bunch of people that I know that are hooked on running, they'll tell me, oh, when I run into a psychological issue, I run it till my knees hurt. In fact, there was a period in the 80s when running was the thing that you could basically tell how much inner work people were going through by how bad their knees were. But I'd get it right, so if I went to somebody body-oriented, I'd get a body solution. If I went to somebody emotion-oriented, I might get, well, let's do hundreds of hours of talking this through. Do you remember the first time your mama smacked your hand when you reached for a cookie? That must be it. And might well be. And underneath all of it, it's an energetic solution. Answers come first, though that's quite in reverse. It's all about energy state. Now, it's all about energy state, but we have to get our brain out of the way. It's all about energy state, but we have to get our body out of the way. It's all about energy state, but we have to get our emotions to let go enough to where the energy state can expand. And it's all about energy state. We are energetic beings. I loved another meme that I saw online. It turns out that we're all geniuses when we're doing it in memes. Which basically said, and I loved it because it just punched my buttons. It said, you do not have, and I don't remember the phrasing. They might have said soul. I'm going to say spiritual essence. You do not have a spiritual essence. I was revving up till I read the tiny print which said, you don't have a spiritual essence. You are a spiritual essence. You have a body. Oh, yeah. Okay. Now I get it. Right on. Good reminder. And yet we can start to think we're this. So I've been meditating for some number of weeks now, thousands of them. And even still sometimes it was, this, and it's so cute because this marks in my brain, it was maybe about a year and a half ago. It's that critical. I was in my meditation, and in my meditation I experienced myself experiencing my body. And then I experienced myself, it was much faster than this, but I experienced myself experiencing the energy field I usually work in. And then I experienced myself experiencing something that was beyond that. And then I had a moment. And of course I thought, oh, got it now. Yep, check, got that figured out. I got a handle on it. This is me forever. Where I got to experience me both as nothing and everything. Where I got to notice how tiny the body experience was, how tiny the energy experience was, how tiny the this life experience was, how tiny the this life and all the other life experience was, how contained all of those were, when the truth was that nothing and everything. And it was such a sweet moment, and it was such a glorious moment that my brain dove in immediately and went, good, got it. We've got that now from now on. And I haven't been able to get back yet. But now I know what that is when answers come first. Now I know what that is. Now I know that's what I'm reaching toward, is my awareness that I am not separate from anything, nor is anything separate from me. I am everything, and everything is me, and while I am still me, my favorite analogy would be that one piece in the 5,000-piece jigsaw puzzle. If you've ever tried one, you're with me. That's nothing but blue sky. There's no mark, there's no bird, there's no piece of cloud, there's no evidence. And you look at that piece and you know that piece isn't leading anywhere. Till you get to where the cat has tossed it on the floor and you can't finish the puzzle without it. Now that's the single most important piece in the puzzle, even while it's the single most nothing piece in the puzzle, and the puzzle's not complete, breathe please, without it. So this actually, and I wish I had it, somewhere I had a transcription of the whole thing, but the poem went on for pages, but this is as much as I still retain. When in the course of human events you stumble across an answer, we often do find ourselves quite blind in seeking instead the question. When answers come first, that's quite in reverse of what was always expected. Situations in time don't always rhyme, and yet they follow due course. When in the course of human events we stumble across an answer, we often do find ourselves quite blind, seeking instead the question. Do I need to figure out my childhood? Do I need to figure out my ancestry? Do I need to figure out who to forgive? Do I need to figure out how to be forgiveness? When in the course of human events we stumble across an answer, we often do find ourselves quite blind when seeking instead the question. When answers come first, that's quite in reverse of what was always expected. Situations in time don't always rhyme, and yet they follow due course. We have all the time in the world and no time at all. The Dalai Lama, when I was lucky enough, and if anybody's ever got an extra ticket, yes, please, I'll go. But a friend of mine got tickets, and I got to hang out in person with the Dalai Lama, me and, 30,000 of his other friends in whatever they call Shoreline now. I lose track. But a portion of the service he did included my phrasing, because I'm not Tibetan Buddhist. He makes a dedicated vow that he lives and that he lives out, that he'll stick around till everybody's reached the light, so that till everybody's elevated, till everybody's moved beyond three-dimensional, four-dimensional space. He'll stick around till everybody's gone so that he can sort of catch the lights and lock up. It's not quite how they phrase it, but that's basically how I heard it, which took my breath away and seemed sort of familiar. We're in the midst right now of elevating this entire reality system of the School of Earth up a notch, as my guidance likes to put it. Their analogy is we're moving from a third grade classroom to a fourth grade classroom, frequency-wise. We're also in the midst of watching this amazing, spectacular polarity of understandings of what's the truth. I heard somebody speak once and I absolutely loved it because their comment was, in any dispute, always remember both sides think they're the good guy. So we're seeing this amazing polarization in belief systems about what's the truth. One side, I would characterize, they would not, as I need to make sure there's somebody else that I am better than so that I'm not at the bottom of the pile. My characterization, not theirs. For certain. The other side, my characterization, because I think I'm the good guys, is, wow, it's all me. It's every bit me. I need to understand how everybody's seeing it, but I need to understand that without being it. That it's a moment for me to find that core essence in me, regardless of circumstances, which is phrased traditionally in my early learnings as unconditional love. A popular phrase, which sounds really lovely till you're a parent, or a partner, or a child, or even a teacher that's public enough that I get feedback from people. And so I had to do some, I'm an engineer by birth, upbringing, raising, genetics, and schooling. I had to do some math on that. And this is what I came to. And that I think of as the core of everything I teach, although there's several cores of everything I teach, including us lighting up and glowing through the whole room around us, is that love is the word for the sensation we experience when our energy and our aliveness is flowing in us. My practice is a vertical beam of energy from the core of the earth up through me to source, and then willfully increasing that flow until two things can happen. One, source level energy can conduct down along that same beam that I've built. Same way electricity doesn't change the copper wire, but you have to haul the copper wire to the outlet. So that source level frequency can conduct through me. One, and two, until I've increased that energy flow until I light up and I glow through everything around me. Floors, chairs, walls, ceilings, people, baby ducks, young rhinos, young firebirds. That's my grandnephew and my grandniece. And then I double dip, because when I do that on the radio, I'll point out, and Scout, redeeming newspaper-worthy lotto winnings. What the heck, let's have everybody cheering for me. But I view myself as a vessel that it's a lot like, I think it was Michelangelo that was quoted of how do you do these sculptures, and he said, I just look at the sculpture and chip away all the rock that isn't that. I view myself as I look at that core essence, and then my goal is to drop away all of the rock that isn't that, regardless of circumstances, unconditionally. So I am uplifting, transmuting physical level energy up to the frequency of source, while allowing myself to be a conduit for source level energy into Earth School, and allowing my light to shine out through everything around me, regardless of circumstances. And this is, it's cute because I play with words a lot because I like them. But my recognition is that mostly what I do is I talk my walk, which means I tell a lot of embarrassing stories on myself about how dumb I was 5 minutes ago and how brilliant I got a second ago, and hope to continue the process. So I end up talking what I've been digging through and learning, and hopeful that that's beneficial. My view is that we're here now on purpose, with intent. We chose to be here now, and I laugh at me a lot because I can remember me standing in front of guidance council. I've had visions standing in front of council figuratively, basically saying, the game's going to be a mess. Put me in, coach. I got it all figured out when I was there for Atlantis, which it's clear as I remember I didn't, but at least I rode along when I was there for Atlantis. I'll be good at this transitional polarized time frame. And now my mantra is closer to, what was I thinking? And yet, I view my role as to be an energetic trigger, reminder, that my goal is, and I offer you to take the same goal, but you don't have to. My goal is every time I become aware of myself, whether I'm aware of me because I'm grumpy, whether I'm aware of me because I'm angry, whether I'm aware of me because the amazing blessing that I got stuck behind I left later than I intended to this morning, and I got stuck behind some slow cars right at the moment to see the highway patrol car go zwoosh by me in the far left lane. Oh, thank you, God. My favorite view of a highway patrol car, actually. You know, oh, yeah. And huge wave of, I love life. Every time I can become aware of me, my goal is to come back to that core essence of me and light me up so that I am in it. Love is a word for the sensation we experience when our energy and our aliveness is flowing in us, lighting us up so that we glow. So my practice is every time I become aware of me, and I'm noticing that, sad to say, but a chunk of my practice is noticing that I'm aware of me when I'm grumpy. Why are they taking so long? Why is this line so stupid? Why didn't people organize? You know, whatever. All of those things. As soon as I can notice those, my job is to come back to the core of me, light me up until I glow, so that I am a state of, love is a word for the sensation, energy, aliveness flowing in us, so that I am a state of love regardless of circumstances. My practice is to be a lit up presence and flow of energy, regardless of circumstances, which turns out it translates to unconditional, regardless of circumstances, love, my aliveness flowing. Oh, I thought it was already late. Yay. From that, we'll just take a moment, and I'd like you to join in this was fun. I was leading a group of people, used to do retreats in Sedona, Arizona. And I was leading a particularly free-thinking group.
Been there, done that.
Yeah. So they had suggestions, improvements, requests, and demands throughout. And so I had been up since early a.m., hiking, working, talking, teaching, and it's now midnight, and I'm at the Safeway because they're open all night, picking up some things that I need to fulfill the requests people had for tomorrow. So I'm not in a great mood. And I am grumping through Sedona Safeway. I am seriously grumping through Sedona Safeway, trying to remember my shopping list, hoping they have everything I need, finding all this stuff. And Sedona, well, it's a little more organized now, but it was really a draw for a lot of people that owned RVs and were travelers. And I'm in the aisle in Sedona, and I see this guy in traveling clothes start tooling down the aisle toward me. And I'm thinking, I am not ready to deal. And I grabbed what I needed, fortunately, turned my cart around and exited the aisle in the other direction. And went over a couple of aisles, and I'm finding whatever I need, and I see him come around the corner again. It's like, oh man. And he's tooling down the aisle, and just as I'm ready to exit, I hear a voice say, Scout Bartlett? Well, there's no escape now. And I freeze in space, looking at this individual, and he comes tooling up. And about the time he gets to my grocery cart, this woman is peeking around the corner, literally peeking around the corner of the aisle, and the guy looks at her and says, it's him, it is him. She comes tooling down the aisle, and the two of them are there at my grocery cart at midnight in the little tiny town of Sedona, out of nowhere, for no reason whatsoever, and they're going, oh my God, this is amazing that we would see you. This is fascinating. We haven't seen you in a long time, but you have no idea how many people you've helped. We've been teaching what you taught us all the way around the whole country. We retired, we bought a motorhome, we've been traveling around the country, teaching your work everywhere we go. You have no idea how many people you've affected. I'm sorry, but which class were you in? No recognition on my side whatsoever. And they freeze frame, look at each other, look back at me, and talk at the same time. Oh, that's true. You'd have no idea who we were. We were one of like 300 people in some audience you talked. You did a talk. You talked about that vertical beam thing. And we just thought it was so perfect that we were retiring. We bought a motorhome. We've been teaching that vertical beam thing everywhere we go. But you wouldn't have any reason to know us. It's like, oh, phew. But at the same time, it's like, okay, I get it. I don't always have to get to know what I just did, or who I just affected, or what I just taught, or who I just taught as a reciprocal part of that. So if y'all would just take a moment, you don't have to close your eyes, but just take a moment and imagine that you could reach a hand down to the center of this planet Earth and stir that warm, rich, dense energy there. Curl that hand into a cup and use that cupped hand now to pull a streamer of energy from the center of the earth right up into your body, just in front of your tailbone, your first chakra. Connect it there and just imagine that you could feel that same warmth, earth center and your whole pelvic cradle. And focusing there at that connection point, stretch that beam from the earth up to about navel height, deep inside your body, just in front of your spine, second chakra. And let that warmth expand. Tailbone, earth center, low belly, draw it up to your diaphragm, solar plexus, let that warmth expand. Earth, pelvic cradle, navel, diaphragm, stretch it up deep inside your body, just in front of your spine, heart level, deep inside your body, just in front of your spine, throat level, deep inside your body, going right up your neck into the middle of your head, to the top of your head, out to the top of your head, stretch that stream of earth energy that you pulled up, stretch it out the top of your head, all the way up into an overhead energy cloud I'm just going to call source. And willfully increase that flow until it's geysering or fountaining, erupting into source. More, till you can feel either a pressure or warmth inside of you, and let that glow right out through you and right out through everything around you. Floors, chairs, walls, ceilings, but all of the people here in the room. Right through them as if they're both transparent to it, but they're also included in it. If you could imagine them being, as easy as the breeze flowing through a screen, or with one client the other day, if you could imagine them all being grid work made out of sponge, to where the water's in the sponge but flowing through the sponge is included, and yet it's still its own sponge. Just play with it. Let it glow out through them. And from that, notice any place in you that tightened up, and just release it now. Be that beam of energy, because that's actually who you are. You don't have a beam of energy. You are a beam of energy. You're mobilizing a body, an awareness, a mind, an emotional sense, a presence in a three-dimensional experience that we think of like a planet. But you are that beam of energy from the center of the earth right up into source. You're that connecting link that is here to uplift, transmute physical level energy, and at the same time to untangle the lessons you took on as your curriculum. Give that body a huge breath if you would. Let it out. If you had your eyes closed, let it bring them back open and bring you right on back into the room. And I can comfortably tell you that, thank you. I love you so very much. Thank you, darling.
Thank you so much. Okay, and we have need some volunteers to pass baskets. Joan, could you please say our prayer so if people can follow along? It's in your program. Christine can? Okay, Christine, why don't you stand up and lead us in the prayer? Oh, here we go. Here. Yeah.
Stand behind the box.
Not in the box, behind the box.
Yeah.
Okay. I give thanks for my spiritual community. I give thanks for my spiritual community. I live in a world of freedom and abundance.
I live in a world of freedom and abundance.
I am happy to support my spiritual community.
I am happy to support my spiritual community.
Thank you, Universal Spirit, for your everlasting love and support.
Thank you, Universal Spirit, for your everlasting love and support.
And so it is.
And so it is. Thank you. Thank you very much, Christine. We really do appreciate it. Ronnie, you're going to be doing our closing something. A prayer, a song, a wish. We don't care. We just love to hear you.
Yes, we do.
Hey, Reverend Ronnie. Grigsby. Can you get me, there you go.
My dear brother Scout Bartlett, I thought this, and I'm willing to say it, I think you're wonderful. And I think it's a blessing. I'm here to help you celebrate your very first day as a minister. It's a tough job, but somebody has to do it.
As a reverend minister. Reverend, yeah.
When you walk through a storm, hold your head up high and don't be afraid of the dark. At the end of the storm, there's a golden sky and a sweet silver song of a lark. Walk on through the wind, walk on through the rain, though your dreams be tossed and blown. Walk on with hope in your heart, and you'll never walk alone. You'll never walk alone.
Thank you, Ronnie. Wonderful. Well, we have potluck. We have people have brought food. Reverend Corky was up all hours of the night preparing this wonderful chili. We have vegetarian chili. We have turkey chili. We have salads. We have quiche. We have all sorts of food over there, and a wonderful chocolate cake for our ordination. I said, "Do you like chocolate?" And he goes, "Do I like chocolate?" And when they said, "It's a chocolate cake, what kind of filling do you want?" And I said, "Chocolate." So there we go. And
Some answers are simple.
some answers are simple, and I said, and it's Scout, S-C-O-U-T. And this morning I went, no Scott, Scout. And sure enough, they got the order correct, and the gentleman didn't speak English.
Oh, perfect.
Isn't that wonderful? It was meant to be that it's not Scott, okay? I want to thank you. Yes.
I just wanted to offer that we have gluten-free chocolate in terms of Oreo cookies. They're gluten-free.
Okay,
So help
so-
yourself if you can't have the chocolate.
We have coffee, we have orange juice, we have water, and mainly we have community. So find yourself a table to sit around, go get some food, and please, this is your pastor is ordering you. Introduce yourself to one person you didn't know before today, okay?
And his candle.
Oh, there, and this, you wanted to tell him what his candle's for. Come on, tell him you made the candle, you decorated it.
So this candle is for you, my beloved one. And it represents the light that you are, but also the light that you can call upon in this community. You can call upon our light when you're feeling low on your light. And with every fold of the origami heart, it is fed with love and good intention.
Thank you so much, Reverend Janet. That is marvelous. Yes. And Scout, are you adverse to more hugs?
Absolutely, I love hugs.
Okay, here we go. Thank you so very much. Manja manja, and have a good time. Okay. And if you want to take pictures, please ask the person before you take their picture. Sometimes people don't want to be their picture spread around.
And that's a beautiful background.
Uh-huh.
Photographs right there.
Yeah. Okay. How does it feel to be a reverend?
Quite overwhelming.
I'm stunned. And that's just so funny.
You want to take that picture with you?
I will certainly take the smaller one, but yeah, I would take that, please.
I don't know what I did with the smaller one.